CCTV footage has emerged of the rapper Sean Diddy Combs physically assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in the corridor of a hotel in 2016. Ms. Ventura made allegations of rape and physical abuse against him in a lawsuit that was settled last year. Combs is at the centre of several civil lawsuits accusing him of sex offences. This report from Emma Vardy has some distressing images.
Cassie Ventura claims she suffered years of abuse in her relationship with P. Diddy, one of the most influential artists in hip-hop. In the CCTV footage, she's seen leaving a hotel room. Not objected to it being shown, say it confirms P. Diddy's disturbing and predatory behaviour. Last month, homes linked with Sean Combs were raided by police in what they said was an ongoing investigation into sex trafficking. Officers searched properties in Beverly Hills, New York and Miami associated with his production company. Cassie Ventura previously brought a lawsuit against Sean Combs in relation to the incident in the video said to be at a Los Angeles hotel. She settled out of court, but since then, several others have come forward accusing him of sexual abuse.
One of the biggest hip-hop stars, P. Diddy, is seen in CCTV footage as Cassie Ventura leaves a hotel room without resisting, despite claims of years of abuse and cheating. The footage is being used to justify P. Diddy's disturbing behavior from the previous month. This happened when police reportedly raided homes linked to Shaq Cam in connection with an ongoing investigation into sex trafficking. Investigators also searched properties tied to his production company in Miami, Beverly Hills, and New York.
To be in the entertainer business, listen to me, man. And I don't want to bring this guy's story up because it's old. And I know he's trying to live past it, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Ray Rice, his wife, spit in his face. And he did what he did on that elevator. He ain't played one football game after that. Nowhere that I know of. He may have went overseas and played or something like that. I don't know that to be true. But he didn't play in the NFL, a hell of a running back. He ain't played not one down in the NFL after that. No endorsements. Nobody's going to have anything to do with old boy. And when they come out with this other stuff, he gonna come back to work. I wouldn't be surprised if he do the ultimate sin, is suicide. Because bruh, he's such a narcissistic that he couldn't stand not being somewhere and not being seen. His whole life, his whole career was about him being seen in the public. It was about him, taking everybody else's dreams and making them his. And now, him nor his kids would profit from anything from Bad Boy or Sean Puffy Combs again. His kids is gonna suffer behind this.
Wow, man, that's crazy to hear, man. And you knowing Diddy, you think it's a good chance he might take his life?
He was talking about taking his life at the City College thing. Yo, D. Ferg, ASAP Ferg father, say, yo, man, we gotta watch him, man. This nigga talking about killing himself. I say, so let him. If you're that weak, I said, let him. And he said, Eugene, why you say that? I said, man, listen to me, man. He ain't no good to nobody if he talking about hurting himself. His life don't belong to him. His life belong to God. What he should be trying to do right now is work his way towards God now, for real, and not that devil we've been worshiping. That those people got him believing, you understand, that's the true God. Because everything from what I know, since I've been around him, everything that's gone forward has been that of the devil. The drugs, the alcohol, the partying, everything has been of the devil. And he's been leading not only himself, our people, into some kind of damnation through his actions.
Yeah, I'm just in disbelief, man. I mean, to see his downfall. I mean, he's been on a long run, man. So, you know, to see this is crazy, man. I mean, how long has he been famous?
Nah, so you gotta realize he didn't get his fame until after he made that, you know, remember, you gotta remember this, Mighty. I said he made the atmosphere for Pac to die. He made the atmosphere for Big to die. He created the atmosphere, you understand, for Suge Knight to go to jail, because that's what came out of his mouth. So that didn't happen. His fame he didn't really come famous until after the death of Tupac and the Notorious Big, brother. So that's like 97. He went on that whole Bad Boy tour with the #1 song in the world, Missing You, where he stole the thing from Sting and the music from Source Money, the lyrics from Source Money. Didn't even want to pay that man his money. Waited all those years to pay that man his money. He was stealing people's dreams, man. He's the cause of a lot of people's death, and people ain't gonna see it the way I see it. But when you steal somebody's dreams, Black Rob probably could have changed his life. Probably could have changed the way he thought. Probably could have changed the way he was doing business if he wouldn't have stole G-Dep from him.
I know you've probably seen things online about the incident that happened a while ago. Recently, CCTV footage from Diddy's home in Chile was released by the BBC, and it's getting a lot of attention. The BBC is going all out for a tape that's said to be worth more money than Diddy himself, who's already incredibly wealthy. Understanding the media's explanation for Diddy's escape will be key, as everyone is waiting to see the crowd gathering outside his home. You might think differently, but I believe Diddy is going to face some tough times. Rumors say the video is explosive and could shake the entire entertainment industry. Just imagine what secrets those cameras might have captured, where the rich and famous party without a care.
If he would have treated Craig Mack in the correct way and not try to steal his music, use him in the way that he used Craig Mack to catapult the Notorious Big, Craig Mack's life could have been changed. If he would have never set up the atmosphere and had Big out there in California and bringing Big to that party, the Notorious Big life may still be here. If he wasn't trying to put the Bloods against the Crips, well, they was already against each other anyway, but use the Crips, maybe Tupac wouldn't have never had that altercation. But if ands, and buts were candies and nuts, like I always say, Christmas would be every day. And I understand that. But he set up the atmosphere for a lot of people. Wolf set up the atmosphere between him and BMF. Come on, man. They say one day you gotta pay the piper. That's why he getting that smoke.
Sauce Money, you brought his name up. He had an issue with Diddy?
For years, Sauce Money is the one who wrote that Missing You, bruh. The #1 song for a long, it was a #1 song on Billboard. I think he did more than Elvis or anybody. Probably Whitney Houston. But Whitney Houston's the only one did like Triple Diamond or something. But that Sauce Money was like the #1 song, and that's what catapulted him into stardom. He didn't pay Sauce Money for years. For years. And Sauce Money wouldn't say this, but I know this to be true. He did a diss song on Puff. Sent it to Jay-Z. Jay-Z called Puff and said, yo, my man, you don't want that diss song to come out about you. This is true story. I think Puff sent him $100,000 or something like that. And that was, but that could have been about 8 to 10 years after that came out. You know how much money he made and show money and everything he did on that? It's crazy.
Girl, this tea is seriously hot. There's something about Lista's life that has everyone amazed. Even though people come and go from her world like it's a revolving door, I still can't believe I'm talking about this. No one could have predicted how crazy the video footage from inside Diddy's mansion would be. As they say, famous people live very different lives from the wealthy, and this video proves it. A certain pop princess might need to explain why she's suddenly so interested in him, especially since he's been seen hanging around her. And let's not forget the rapper who claimed to be loyal to his wife. He's going to have a lot to explain. This is pure madness. Not some serious Wall Street drama, but more like a wild picnic with footage of people throwing cash around like it's confetti. And no, it's not Monopoly money. Please, things got really messy. The cameras caught more than just fun and games. They also captured people talking about illegal activities. It's going to be hard for anyone to answer some of these questions, especially since some of the guests arrived dressed in outfits that cost as much as my car, but left looking like they'd been through a storm. But that doesn't mean Diddy knew any of this was happening.
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Now, do you think he has a mole or an informant in his camp that's cooperating?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had drug charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on the plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One, to make a witness out of him, or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for drug charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use? I'm gonna give you something different. And I'm gonna give you something else that people don't even think. On the other day, I seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up and he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep.
Check this out. What if the federal government have already talked to Justin Bieber? And Diddy did that on tape. That means in his mind, he think this person may be a witness, right?
Yep.
What he had just done that is against the law.
Nothing that we've seen.
Tampering with a federal witness. If they have already talked to Justin Bieber prior to him doing that, he goes and look like he's searching him. It appears that he's asking Justin Bieber, yo, you got a wire or something like that? Like, you're tampering with a federal witness. That's a charge right there that can land him in jail. Reckless. That was real reckless.
Man, it's gonna be kind of crazy to see everything unfold, man. Well, if worse comes to worse, and Diddy has to do some time, how do you think he's gonna handle it?
Usually individuals acclimate themselves into situations and they do the best that they can do. I just don't think him being a free spirit and off drugs, once he gets into that situation, that he'll handle it that well. I could be wrong.
A lot of people believe he's going to end himself.
Well, I heard him say that before when that City College incident happened. He was talking like that back then. Because he thought it was a possibility that he would be going to jail. He lost his job at Uptown. So he's done a lot of things. Been a lot of places. I don't think he has the spirit.
This brings up the issue of all those private, videotaped meetings, discussions about record label conflicts, contracts, and maybe even some shady deals. There's a rumor of extortion and other suspicious business activities. No one really knows how much the cameras captured, especially when it comes to trade secrets. What's even more interesting is that Diddy's security system also records audio, so it's not just what was seen but what was heard that's causing a stir. Some of these recorded conversations are even juicier than a Georgia peach in August, with celebrities spilling their deepest secrets and making plans for their careers. Diddy's mansion is more than just a house. It's a whole world of celebrity drama, and now the public has a front row seat. This leak could change the celebrity world forever. You might be wondering how Diddy didn't know he was being recorded. Some say he was betrayed by someone on the inside, while others think he knew all along. Either way, it's a huge mess, and it's only going to get worse.
Diddy filmed it and directed his staff to change lighting or bedding to better display the people who are performing for him sexually. These are allegations. Does this remind you at all of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case? And how did they get away with it?
Well, remember the Jeffrey Epstein case happened decades ago, so they didn't have cell phones, for example, or this kind of recording technology. So we're far ahead of that in this. And even though they have some of that material, I'm sure what they're also going to look for is bank accounts, evidence that he paid people, including people that provided him with underage victims. And that's really the key here is whether they're going to be able to show that he also was engaged with sex trafficking minors, which is a very far more serious crime because of, their age, and also the fact that he has all this, other video evidence that he was allegedly committing these kinds of offenses.
At this point, you're probably wondering how the BBC got their hands on this footage. After all, they're one of the biggest broadcasting companies, not some small tabloid. Playing this kind of game with someone as powerful as Diddy is risky. There are rumors that someone from Diddy's team may have leaked both sides of the story. The question is, why would the BBC air such private details? They're not usually known for spilling juicy secrets like this. It's all about ratings, and this situation feels like a reality show with much higher stakes. You never know how many people will tune in to see what's happening inside Diddy's mansion. Things get complicated here. How can the BBC, a news outlet that's supposed to uphold journalism and ethics, justify showing someone's personal surveillance footage? This could lead to lawsuits, fines, or even criminal charges if they're not careful. They could land in serious legal trouble. Plus, other celebrities caught up in this mess aren't staying quiet. They're threatening to take action to stop the footage from airing. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, with everyone trying to cover their part of the story before it blows up.
And you know that was crazy. And I know people gonna think that, yo, this is all what Gene wanted to see. But now listen here, man. The devil got a purpose, God got a plan. Do you understand what I'm saying? The devil got his purpose, but God got a plan. You understand? And it's all in God's plan, man. You understand? To let people see, because a lot of people wasn't believing that this stuff even existed, brother. A lot of people didn't even think that Cassie was telling lies. Gene been telling lies. Lil Rob been telling lies. Everybody lying on Diddy. But Diddy told the truth. Diddy's the only one told the truth. He said, y'all just keep watching. The truth will soon come out. And you see what came out? My man, he punching that little girl in the head. Yo, you don't even kick a dog, man. You don't even kick a dog, bro. He kicking that little girl like she's a dog, man. It was crazy, man. Any man that has a sister, any man that has a friend that's a girl, any man that has a child, you understand, who saw that, if they wasn't appalled, if they wasn't like, yo, I want to beat the, you know what I'm saying? We can't say that on television, man, or on the internet or YouTube, but any man who saw that, wish they could put their hands on Diddy at that time, bro. That shit was appalling, bro. It was crazy, man. And when I saw it, I could imagine what Kim went through. I could imagine what Misa went through. You understand? It was just crazy, man, for that dude to do that to that girl like that, man.
Some people today say the BBC is focusing too much on the bad side of celebrity life. But let's be real. They care about views and clicks just like any other media outlet. Sometimes you have to play dirty to stay on top, because the competition is tough. The big question is if other networks will get their hands on this content. Who knows? This might just be the start. People are saying there's even more gossip to spill. Even though the BBC started the fire, they won't be able to control where it goes now. The real story might be about who's pulling the strings behind the scenes, not just the footage itself. Once this video hits social media, it'll spread faster than rumors at a hair salon. Now, everyone is watching to see how Diddy and his team will respond.
So, because they used the civil cases and found that there was some criminal activity that may have been found at some one of those people who, like Cassie, Jonathan Odie didn't have a civil case against him, but Cassie, Jonathan Odie, and Lil Rob, they used the evidence that they had or the statements they made and convinced the judge that there was enough probable cause to go in there with a search warrant. But the way they did the search warrant and how they did it, man, I thought he was El Chapo or somebody. They took a tactical team in there, brother. They had tactical units. You understand? And it was for allegedly a sex crime. But they took, my man, did you see the artillery and the way the Homeland Security came in there? My man, you would have swore, it was going to be some gun violence up in there, how they came to it. So my feeling of it is that enough statements have been made that they could probably prove. They did enough investigation. See, people think that when the federal government go in there on you, the reason they got a 99% conviction rate, because most people say, they got me. They don't go to court with them. So for them to have a team in New York, because they didn't really mention too much about New York. They had property in New York, property in Miami, and a property in LA, all simultaneously hit. Those different agencies had to get together, plan that, and that's not no bull. You know, that's a lot of manpower, a lot of money. So they want to know how they spent the taxpayer. The taxpayer's gonna know why you spending my money on this to come up with nothing. So you best believe they had something in the first place to go up in there, either through, like I said before, wiretaps. You understand? Because if they convinced the judge that they need a warrant, they had wiretaps, surveillance, and different things that was going on. And then, like, it's a lot of crazy statements that have been made. And you got to look at that interview that Jonathan Odie did, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That was probably more damaging than Cassie. And that was more damaging than Cassie, because check this out. He said Diddy was transporting liquid cocaine on his private jet. Now, the DEA wasn't involved in this.
The release of the CCTV footage is having a big impact on the celebrity world. If you thought the gossip was hot before, it's now boiling over. Diddy's team is said to be in full damage control mode, trying to fix things as quickly as possible. Word on the street is that his PR team is working overtime, calling in favors and threatening legal action faster than you can say bad boy for life. But it might be too late. Other celebrities caught on camera are trying to dodge the fallout, some pretending they weren't even there, while others claim they don't remember. Memes are going viral, and social media is blowing up as people use the footage for reaction shots and online trolling. It's like a game of hot potato, with nobody wanting to get burned. This situation is more than just internet fun, though. Diddy might sue the BBC, or he could face lawsuits from other celebrities. There are also major privacy concerns being raised, as legal experts warn that celebrities worldwide should pay attention to this. It's a wake-up call for anyone who thought they were safe and private in their own homes.
It was the FBI and the Homeland Security, basically. That's because of the sex trafficking thing. But if they find any of that stuff in any one of his houses, there's a problem. Even if they find illegal guns, the constitutional right goes the right to bear arms, but he had to have licenses for that shit. So if anybody got illegal guns up in there, if they find any kind of drugs to a high amount, cocaine and weed, I don't think Diddy gonna get charged, because what he did, he put everything in his kid's name and his company.
Did you see the video of his kids in handcuffs?
Yeah, that's a tactical thing. The kids being in handcuffs is a tactical thing that law enforcement use, you understand, hoping that people who've never been in handcuffs before, that it either scares them or want to make them talk. There's no reason after they searched those kids, because they didn't have a search warrant for bodies. They had a search warrant for like materials, laptops, telephones, logs, pictures, tapes. You know, that's what they search warrant is for. They didn't have a search warrant for bodies. So those kids, when they came out, they should have searched them. And then, listen, y'all sit down right there. That was a tactical move to get them to talk and to scare them into saying something, by keeping them handcuffed like that. They didn't have to do those kids like that. None of those kids have, that I know of, criminal cases against them or known for criminal activity. So there was no reason for them to do that. If them was the damn Rockefellers or somebody else, they wouldn't have had their kids handcuffed like that. But you got to realize their father has painted a crazy picture to the authorities. You understand? It's a crazy picture, and people don't realize this, brother. First and foremost, Puff has been dodging the legal system for years. His affiliation with BMF, even though Meech has said that Puff never did anything, Puff never been around her, they still was partying together. So in the authorities' mind, they feel like Puff knew what Meech was doing. Then with the introduction to Jacob and different people, and a lot of people going to jail for money laundering and stuff like that, Puff being, and this is documented, Puff being a CI for an FBI agent. I said this years ago that him and Kirk Burroughs took some paperwork. They was taking some papers up to the FBI, so like when they was here in New York. They was taking paperwork up there and stuff like that. Don't know what it was, but later on found out that he was a CI. You understand? Now, what happens? He don't have that. The guy probably, that was 20, 30 years, 20 some years ago. The guy probably retired. Puff ain't dealing with him. No, he didn't pass Puff on or something like that. So now, Puff been dodging the legal system with the, people had it wrong. They think it was with the Black Mafia family. No, it was with Butt Naked. I said this years ago. The person that he said is a senior advisor, Corey Jacobs. Corey had 9 16-to-life sentences for drug trafficking. You make him your senior advisor, even though that was your man, he coming home. That's your man, pots and pans. But Wolf was the one who took care of them when they was away. You know what I'm saying? Wolf was the one who took care of them. So now, you got all these, these characters, around you. What they gonna think when they come to your house? They got the evidence, or they had statements that you blew up Kid Cudi's car. You understand what I'm saying? They have statements that, you may have been affiliated with people being shot. So they come to your house like this. They treat your kids like this. Based on the picture you have played to the authorities. So them having his kids like that, I think that was wrong. After they searched those kids, make sure they didn't have no weapons on them, sit them down on the ground, make them feel comfortable, because at this time, they're not criminals. They haven't committed any crimes.
I see. Speaking of drugs, right? Because you made a comment about it earlier. How you feel about Diddy's drug mule getting arrested?
The news about them arresting the mule, now, they're gonna have to prove that. Now, if that guy becomes a witness, and if they can track anything back to Puff with that, that's gonna be one of their star witnesses.
Damn.
Cause see, they will give him leniency. They were like, yo, listen, man, hey buddy, listen here, we don't really want you. We know you was just doing this to, you were doing this to take care of your family, feed your moms. You know what I'm saying? Pay your rent. We know that. This guy's living out in this mansion, using you. Then that guy becomes a star witness. So because they used the civil cases and found that there was some criminal activity that may have been found at some one of those people who, like Cassie, Jonathan Odie didn't have a civil case against him, but Cassie, Jonathan Odie, and Lil Rob, they used the evidence that they had or the statements they made and convinced the judge that there was enough probable cause to go in there with a search warrant But the way they did the search warrant and how they did it, man, I thought he was El Chapo or somebody. They took a tactical team in there, brother. They had tactical units. You understand? And it was for allegedly a sex crime. But they took, my man, did you see the artillery and the way the Homeland Security came in there? My man, you would have swore, it was going to be some gun violence up in there, how they came to it. So my feeling of it is that enough statements have been made that they could probably prove. They did enough investigation. See, people think that when the federal government go in there on you, the reason they got a 99% conviction rate because most people say, they got me. They don't go to court with them. So for them to have a team in New York, because they didn't really mention too much about New York. They had property in New York, property in Miami, and a property in LA, all simultaneously hit. Those different agencies had to get together, plan that. And that's not no bull. That's a lot of manpower, a lot of money. So they want to know how they spent the taxpayer. The taxpayer's gonna know why you spending my money on this to come up with nothing. So you best believe they had something in the first place to go up in there, either through, like I said before, wiretaps. You understand? Because if they convinced the judge that they need a warrant, they had wiretaps, surveillance, and different things that was going on. And then, it's a lot of crazy statements that have been made. And you got to look at that interview that Jonathan Odie did, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That was probably more damaging than Cassie. And that was more damaging than Cassie. Because check this out. He said Diddy was transporting liquid cocaine on his private jet. Now, the DEA wasn't involved in this.
Sponsors and producers are likely watching this whole situation unfold, wondering how to handle it. Being the face of a luxury brand 1 minute, then caught on camera doing something shameful the next, is a PR disaster. It's like a real-life version of Clue, except instead of Colonel Mustard in the library, it's Rapper X in the pool house. The point is clear. As rumors spread, people are starting to question the truth behind celebrity culture. While Diddy and his famous friends try to stay out of sight, everyone else is piecing together who is where and when. In Hollywood, today's scandal often becomes tomorrow's comeback story, but with the graphic nature of the video, an Instagram apology might not be enough this time. Some think this could be a real game changer.
Cassie information, they interviewed her. Yo, when was the time he hit you? He hit you before? Yeah, we was at the hotel. He blacked my eye. They went through a whole lawsuit. Oh, he blacked my eye. We at the hotel. It was on this day, about this time. They said, okay, we gonna contact and see if the footage. Now they gotta keep that stuff in the archive. They have to have that security footage in the archive somewhere. So then what the Homeland Security say, yo, listen to me, on this day, this way, cause just for accidents, just say you fell down the steps at the hotel. They got cameras in the hallway. They got cameras in the stairway. So they can see that. So now, you didn't fall down the steps, but you say you did at a certain time. They go through that whole footage. So they have to keep that in some kind of archive. Now, she told them what date and about what time it happened. They contact the security personnel and the people who have that stuff in archive and say, yo, listen to me. We're going to subpoena that. We want that information. And they sent it to them because they don't want to lose their insurance. They don't want to lose their insurance. The things that they insure the hotel, so they don't want to lose that stuff. So listen, what they do, they hand it over to them. There's going to be a lot of stuff handed over. Why do you think they got all the tax returns and everything on all 18 of the companies that he was doing business with? I told y'all, the Southern District of New York, they not into losing nothing. A 98.2 percentage in conviction rates. They not losing nothing. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry about that.
What was your reaction when you first seen that video, man?
I was sick as a stomach, man. I was sick in the stomach, man, because you know, when you have daughters, you just hope somebody don't send you to jail like that. Because any real man know if somebody put their hands on their kids like that, you know, kicking them like a dog. My first reaction was, man, there's probably a lot of other women that had that same problem with old boy. Remember Gina that got on that show, Tasha K show? And she said that, yo, he kicked me. He was punching me in my head and the side of my head. Do you imagine what she went through and she was pregnant, bruh? Come on, man. I had flashbacks of when they told me when he beat Misa so bad that he was kicking her, she had to go hide up under a car. It's crazy.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Now, do you think he has a mole or an informant in his camp that's cooperating?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had drug charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on a plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One, to make a witness out of him, or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for drug charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use?
Reports say that being popular today comes with a high price. People work hard to protect their good reputation, and things can change quickly. You might be a successful music producer one moment and struggling personally the next.